Hi, Phil Aston here from Now Spinning Magazine, and it's the playlist video. Yes, it's the weekly playlist video, and this time you are listening to a man with a cold. There's been a few videos going out recently where I've not been sounding my normal self, and this will be another example of that. So for this particular playlist video, I've picked music that is hopefully helping me get better. And if there are slight pauses in this video, it's because I've gone off to have a bit of a coughing fit. So please bear with me. Right. I'm surrounded by things I've been playing that I think are working, because if I tried to do this video a couple of days ago, I couldn't have done it. I would have been in a horizontal position, and that would have been it. So the first album I've been playing is this. Gillan and Glover. Tell me, I know the year, do I? 1988. 1988, because I almost did a 1988 themed playlist, but I thought, no, it's just too much. I'm just going to go wherever the music takes me. I remember hearing Dislocated on, could have been the Jonathan Ross show, and I didn't like it. In fact, I still think Dislocated is the worst track on this album. And the other one they did was via Miami, which is very good. And I think Deep Purple also did that at the Royal Albert Hall with the Concerto Group and Orchestra rerun in 1999. But where this really works is in a sleeve with the pictures of Gillan and Glover having a great time out there in wherever it was recorded, somewhere exotic, I think it was. Can't see without my glasses on, which are around here somewhere, sitting in deck chairs and stuff. But where it really works is Clouds and Rain. I was playing this and Sue said, wasn't Ian Gillan's voice beautiful back then? Not that she was saying that it's not beautiful now, but I know what she means. There was something about, especially on Clouds and Rain, which is a ballad with just really minimalist keyboard backing. His tone and his phrasing, his diction and everything, it's just perfect. You know, you realise just what a wonderful singer Ian Gillan is. Evil Eye is a bit more kind of heavy, sinister, but still very good. She Took My Breath Away is another soft track. Dislocated, I don't really play. It's got a very reggae-ish feel, and I don't think it works for me. I Can't Dance to That is quite cool. Can't Believe You Want to Leave. There's some blues stuff in here as well. Lonely Avenue I like that one, and I thought Now is good. My other favourite song on this is Telephone Box, which has got a very hypnotic riff. It's a wonderful song, and is a highlight, 5 minutes 15 seconds long, of this album. It was released on CD by Eagle Records. When was this? 1990s something or other. So I don't know whether it's ever been tweaked or there's any extra tracks, but if you're a Gillan Purple Family type person, then it should be in your collection. It's very different, very left field perhaps, and typical of the time. That a good thing actually. The musicians, when they went off to do solo albums, they did not go anywhere near what they were known for. Now I'm thinking of the guy who's singing with Dream Theater. He goes off into the solo album, it sounds like Dream Theater. People now are kind of scared to leave the safety net of what they're known for. But then, when an artist from a bigger band went off to do a solo album, you really didn't know what to expect. So, where shall we go next? Because I do have a plan. So that's Roger Glover is involved in that last album. So Roger Glover is involved in this album, but we're going back to 1976. And this might be a strange thing to admit, but this is the first ever Rory Gallagher album I ever bought. Now I have, I think, nearly everything he ever released. But back then I'd heard lots of albums. I'd heard the 1974 Live Irish Tour album. I'd heard Live in Europe. I'd been at the cusp of buying these things, but never quite got round to it. What's the one, Against the Grain, is it? I nearly bought that. And then, of course, someone said, Phil, did you know Roger Glover's really produced the next Rory Gallagher album? And that just tipped me towards thinking, oh, I'll get that one then. And it is a rather good one, isn't it? This has got 2 bonus tracks on. There's been another version since this, I think. And the main tracks here, sorry, as I said, I'm suffering from man flu, so I'm doing my best, is Moonchild, Calling Card, Secret Agent. These are all great songs which I feel came to life more in the live setting. So it's a good album, but I felt that a lot of these tracks that did make the live set really took on a whole new level of meaning when they were played live. But I have been playing that. So from there, there's no tenuous link now. We're just going somewhere else. At the time of me doing this video, I'm going to be interviewing Derek Shulman soon from Gentle Giant to talk about his career. And as I've been reading this book, what was interesting that when he came out of the Simon Dupree and the big sound pop stuff to think about moving into a more prog field, that Elton John, who had yet to be called Elton John there, was giving him advice on what he should probably listen to. And you might not know that Elton John was a big fan of the Soft Machine and stuff. And he said to Derek, you want to maybe listen to a band like Spirit, specifically the 2 albums he was talking about, which was called Spirit and The Family That Plays Together. So because of that, this little box set, which has got 5 CDs in it, tons of stuff. It's one of those slightly irritating box sets where albums get split over one CD onto the next one. Do you know what I mean? Like side 1's on one disc and then side 2 you have to get the other one. I suppose it's no big deal. It's only like turning an album over. But record labels tend not to do that anymore. But this did come with does. You can still get it. It comes with a very extensive booklet. But it gave me a kind of feel for where Derek was in his mind and where the family were and his brothers about thinking about going down a different route. So I've been listening to Spirit, especially the first 2 albums, and that then led me quite naturally to the first Gentle Giant album I ever bought, which was Octopus, and it is still my favourite Gentle Giant album, and especially for Knots. And this is where, Ray and Kerry's songwriting, and they were just unlike anyone else. And I do think that something Derek says in his book, that a lot of the prog bands were very pretentious. And even though Gentle Giant released a compilation about being pretentious later on in the decade, they were the most unpretentious prog band. They just really believed in the music they were making and the footprints they were making in the sound. No one else had made them at all. Gentle Giant, Octopus, from 1972. Where am I now? Oh yes. Shall we do a vinyl or CD? Because it's a mixed format playlist. This. Yeah, I'm gonna go to this one. And this is, found my spectacles because I'll need this to try and talk about this. This is Michael Ackerfeld from Opeth and Stephen Wilson. This is the album called Storm Corrosion. Do you have this? This is the CD and Blu-ray version with the 5.1 mix. There's been another version of this, but this was quite a revolution at the time to include a Blu-ray with a 5.1 mix. But was it? As Stephen Wilson was involved. When was it? 2012. I love this album. And the first track is called Drag Ropes, 9 minutes, 52 seconds. Most of the tracks are about 10 minutes, 6 minutes long. My only advice in this, because you have to give advice sometimes to my lovely listeners and viewers, don't play this on a dull, rainy day. Especially if you're not feeling 100%. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Music is a healer and a doctor, but you need to make sure you take the right medicine at the right time. And the first track is called Drag Ropes. Watch the video on YouTube, and that will give you an insight of how you're feeling inside to whether you should progress any further. If it starts to make you feel as if you are being dragged down by ropes, take it off and don't go there. Now, my dear friend, now for your sins you're to suffer, here it begins. Drag ropes forward, shame will save you, out moves inward, turn of the screw. Gallows free you, dawn's release, hood to blind you, be at peace. When you're feeling better and it's a nice sunny day, put it on, and it's a very immersive kind of experience. When I interviewed Tim Bonus, and he said that him and Stephen used to sit around and try and think of what they could come up with that was so tragic, so much black humour and so melancholy that they tried to outdo themselves. This one ticks all of those boxes. So, Storm Corrosion. Where next? Vinyl. But I only played one track from this. Ace, 5-a-side, 1974. I've only played one track. Not since I've owned it, but this week. And it's How Long. I think Rod Stewart had a hit with it. I think lots of people have had hits with it. This is a special song. It's a special song. This is Paul Carrack, isn't it, from Mike and the Mechanics? Well, he would be. Carrack. And it's why I liked it was the guitar solo. I think it was an SG, wasn't it? It was a black SG, and it had that really phased approach, like double bends on it. Me and my mates at school talked about this guitar solo and the fact it was like it was a pop song really, but it was something in the top 20 that we really liked because we were just into guitars. And I still think it's one of the best songs ever. How Long by Ace from 1974, released on Anchor Records. It's marvellous stuff. Shall we have a look at Anchor Records? Shall we? There it is. That was also the label that Stretch on with Why Did You Do It, wasn't it? Marvellous stuff. Where we go? Shall we go now? Vinyl and CD. Another Deep Purple connection. Look, you know me by now. There's bound to be some kind of Deep Purple-esque family affair going on. This is Green Bullfrog. This was one of those albums. When did I get hold of this? This was made in the USA, US pressing, 1980. We'd heard about this. It was one of those mythical records because back in the 70s, you heard about things, and if they were out of print, they were out of print. There's no eBay, there's no Discogs, there's second-hand shops. There was Red and Rare Records and the Discery in Birmingham. But if they had anything that came anywhere near anything you wanted, it would be so expensive, you'd be asking your dad for an overdraft or something. But this had this mythical status because it said, there was me, Albert Lee and Jim Sullivan, Ian Pace and Roger Glover were on it, and whoever else was around at the time. It's a loaded clickbait statement, clickbait from 1980. Richie Blackmore, guitar player, September 1978. So when this reissue appeared in 1980, I think it was quite expensive. I think it was in the import racks. I went and bought it. And there's nothing on it that gives any idea of who's on it, because drums is somebody called Speedy, bass is Sleepy, piano and organ is Bevy, piano is Sorry, guitar, Boots. So you had to guess. But the main track, of course, is Bullfrog, which is just an amazing instrumental, and it sounds like an outtake from Deep Purple in rock, because this was recorded around that time. It is luckily available as a CD, which gives you a tiny bit more information on it than the vinyl one did. We're talking tiny. But yeah, Ian Pace is on it. Obviously, Richie Blackmore, Big Jim Sullivan, who actually gave Richie a couple of lessons as well. I think it was recorded in the early 70s. I can't remember because it was recorded in 1971. Again, which is why it sounds like it's an outtake from Deep Purple in rock, because it's got that kind of jam stew. Those kind of the outtakes from Purple around, or the kind of I'm Alone bit from Fireball, which is the B-side of Strange Corner One, wasn't it? It's the guitar sound has got that kind of feel, but it's Richie Blackmore, and he plays, and it's essential. If you're a Richie Blackmore fan, it's essential. Some of the other songs, he's not on it. You can tell when it's him because he's very much using the tremolo arm, but that title track, which is instrumental, is is just a tour de force of Blackmoreisms in his early days. So that's Green Bullfrog from 1971 or 1980, depending on when you found a copy. There are 3 to go, just checking, there are just 3 to go, and one vinyl and 2 CDs to go. I'm going to go with a CD next, because I used to own this on vinyl. It's Bad English. It's 1989 I bought this, and this was the album that tipped me off the vinyl world, although obviously you can tell from behind me I've come back on it and into the world of CD, because this is when vinyl records, which I've mentioned in another video, just became lots of surface noise, dodgy pressings, because CDs were getting longer and longer. Well, like albums were getting longer and longer. CDs were the same length, and bands were just putting more stuff on, and the vinyl format just couldn't cope. Now, of course, vinyl's gone back to being about 35 minutes, and they just leave off loads of tracks, and they're all on. And so CDs have shrunk as well. But anyway, so I loved the record and got rid of the vinyl album. And just took it back and spent more money on the CD, which is how it used to be then, not how it is now, where the CD is cheaper. Best of what I've got, Heaven is a 4-letter word, Possession, Forget Me Not. I think that features a song where he says he throws away the key, then locks the door. It's a classic. Ghost in Your Heart, oh, wow. Price of Love, Ready When You Are Laid Down. It kind of loses its way a little bit towards the end because there's too many songs. And bands were used to probably, writing like 40 minutes worth. And this is the early days of CD, look, fold out card, that's all you got, with a picture of the band. But what a lineup. John Waite, one of my favourite vocalists, someone I don't talk about that much because probably in recent decades he's kind of faded into the background. But here is at the height of his powers, and Neil Schon on guitar. I mean, Jonathan Cain on keyboards, Ricky Phillips from the Babies also. Such amazing lineup. The next album that came along didn't quite reach the heights of this, but you really thought that in 1989 this was going to be one of the biggest bands and the best albums of all time. As I played this really took me back and made me feel great. Probably parts of my cold started to run for the hills when I had this on. Bad English, really, really amazing band. John Waite, what a vocalist. There are certain bands that when I put their albums on, their music on, the sun comes out no matter how dull it is out there. And at the time we're doing this video, it is raining cats and dogs outside, and it really feels like the dead of winter, even though it's only early September. But there are some albums and bands that just really, really brighten my day. And this is the Doobie Brothers. And I've gone for an easy option here, the best of the Doobies. Do you know what? I even have this on CD. And do you know what? I only bought it recently because I just think it's whoever sequenced this knew exactly what they were doing. Because they also put on Without You on it, which on the best of, or the Doobie Brothers box set, they left that track off. What were they doing? But this covers those first few years up until 1976. China Grove, Long Train Running, Taking It to the Streets, Listen to the Music, Blackwater, Rocking Down the Highway, Jesus Is Just Alright, It Keeps You Running, Sad City Midnight Lady, Take Me in Your Arms and Without You. So yes, it features 2 fantastic Michael McDonald tracks. I don't care what you think. Some of you go, I don't like it, Tom Johnson. I love all Doobie lineups, so there you go. But, It Keeps You Running, Taking It to the Streets, and Taking It to the Streets, that is such a fantastic record. And then, of course, Captain and Me and everything else that... Look at the guys. I just love that. So, yes, this helped me sit up straight because I had to get up and turn over to put it on the other side. But no, I just... The only album was available then. Doobie Brothers, 71, Toulouse Street, 72, The Captain and Me, 73, What Once Vices Now Habits, oh, that's a good one, isn't it? 74, Stampede, 75, and Taking It to the Streets. Best of the Doobies. You need the Doobies in your life. Last album in this playlist video. I've managed to do it, I think, is symphonic metal. I don't know if I haven't covered enough symphonic metal on this channel, but I love it. I've got so many albums by Delane and Epica and Within Temptation and all the other ones that I can't remember at the top of my head. But this one, The Unforgiving by Within Temptation, is my favourite album by this band. It comes with a poster up. This is the one that has that track that Rick Isaac didn't write, but did. That track called Faster, because it's exactly the same as that one by Rick Isaac, which is, see, I can't remember it now. But it's so similar. But this was the version that came with the DVD, and there were 4 songs that were linked together with this kind of little cinematic storyline. And it's just superb. What I love the orchestration. I love the female vocals. But what's interesting about this band, specifically at this time, is there's hardly any guitar solos at all. It's just music and storytelling, but such thunderous riffs and such fantastic production. Shot in the Dark, Middle of the Night, Faster, Fire and Ice, Iron, Where is the Edge, Sined, Lost. That's great. Demon's Fate, Stairway to the Skies, Why Not Me? This is an absolute killer rock album. It's the kind of music that always makes me feel that whatever it is that I'm thinking, I don't know if I can do that. I put music like this on and I think I might be able to do that. I think I can do that. I'm going to be able to do that. It just lifts me, which again, while I'm suffering from man flu, this is the music I need. I need music that makes me say no. You know, the body's listening all the time. The words you use are very powerful. I am getting better. I'm going to be fine. I'm listening to Within Temptation. And I'm feeling better all the time. So if you are a fan of Within Temptation, let me know, because I don't cover enough symphonic rock. But this album, I think, is stunning. More recent ones have been good, and especially that... was it the Black Symphony one, the one with the DVDs, and that's brilliant concert. Anyway, I'm going to start to digress very quickly, so I'm going to stop there while my voice is still functioning. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Please support sport. Please do more sport. Please support Now Spinning magazine by buying a t-shirt or a mug, because music always sounds better when you drink coffee out of a Now Spinning magazine mug. It's a scientific fact. Many people will testify to that. If you become a Patron YouTube member, you can get access to our private music groups for like-minded people on Facebook and on WhatsApp. And we have our own pub called the Now Spinning Arms. But remember, most of all, music is the healer and the doctor. Please take care, all of you. And I'll speak to you all very, very soon.